How's it going? Noel over here, battling MS. In this video clip, I wanted to share a video by Stephen A. Smith complaining about how we're being treated as sucker and not understanding that the current administration is not going to help us in the long run. Let's take a look at this video clip. And again, thank you for clicking on my channel. And please watch the video all the way to the end so we could get more viewers. I'm up to 1,600 subscribers, so go ahead and like, share, and comment below. And click on that subscribe button so we could get more subscribers and we could build this platform. One of my goals is to build a platform where we could all be verbal on life and I get to share my opinions and thinking. But without further ado, let's take a look at this Stephen A. commentary.
So guess what? That means I can run 5 miles now? That means I'm in shape? What the hell does that mean that Joe Biden looked like he had energy last night? The question is, can you rely on him to do that for 4 years, starting next year?
That is a good question. Can we rely on the current administration? Do you think he's healthy enough? I am just shocked and surprised how some people don't see it or are afraid to say anything. Just say it. This man cannot do another 4 years. Again, just shocked at anybody that says that he can. As a matter of fact, I think they're doing it for shock value. Please comment below. What do you think?
That's the question. He gives a speech for an hour and 10 minutes or so on a weeknight in March of 2024, and suddenly that warrants 4 more years for a dude that's going to turn 82 years of age in November and is expected to give 4 more years after that. I said before and I'll say it again. It is an utter disgrace that in the year 2024, the Democratic Party, who calls itself progressives, is begging and relying upon an 82-year-old to come save the day for 2025, 2026, 2027, into 2028.
And let me give a shout out to Stephen A. for being brave enough to just put it out there. To be honest, you know, most media people are not honest. So you really got to be brave and sure of yourself that you are able to go on TV, right there's the Stephen A. show, and say what he's saying. It's just crazy. I hope he doesn't get fired because I think that's what people are scared of, losing their job and covering for the president, just not to lose their job.
And if you think that an hour speech offsets all of that, you smoking crack.
Based.
The quote here is absolutely perfect. He gives a speech for an hour and 10 minutes or so, and
He said based.
suddenly that warrants 4 more years. If you think that an hour speech offsets all of that, then you're smoking crack. To be honest, it almost feels like a liberal hive mind quote because that's pretty much exactly how I would put it. You know, the standard is so low with this guy. I think a meme that I posted with one of my videos the other day pretty much sums it up perfectly. I'll get it up here on the screen. It was something to the effect of Joe Biden finishes a coherent sentence, then a photo of NASA scientists in some sort of command center celebrating victoriously, essentially representing the Democrat tone anytime Joe Biden.
Look at what we're celebrating. The man mumbled a half a sentence, and people are just cheering like, yes, he's able to talk a little bit. Come on now. Whatever happened of shooting for or having high expectations?
And manages to somehow stumble his way through public speaking. He got through the State of the Union, and only had 4 or 5 brain melt moments. Wow, amazing, as if that undoes years and years of clear Joe Biden dementia. Of course it doesn't. One cruddy State of the Union address doesn't undo 4 years of my butt's been wiped Biden. That's not how it works. I mean, you could try to live in that fantasy for 24 hours, but Biden simply speaking will take you out of that fantasy real quick. How many days has it been since his address? How many days has it been since his speech? I don't know exactly, probably 3 or 4. Well, in the last 3 or 4 days, in the last 72 plus hours, Joe Biden's been doing some events and he's been an absolute freaking gaffe machine. It's never ending with this guy. We did a gaffe montage 3 days ago and now we're doing another one. That's how much content there is. Here's Joe Biden struggling to read the teleprompter.
And what they're going to do is to ensure a national, really endanger our national security. They're going to expend, are they going to expand personal freedoms? Well, that's what we're going to do. Folks,
What is he talking about? Really?
we have come through pretty tough times. And I know we got a lot more to do. We had to stay off, we had to start off by vaccinating America. Trump stood flat-footed during that period of time before the pandemic.
Here's Joe Biden struggling to speak English.
Tremendous amount of things you can cut. Let me be precise. Tremendous amount of things you can do. Not.
I'll say this much. An elderly man with cognitive problem like he has, it's okay to say it. Like, my man, you need to go. Because maybe he doesn't realize it. As an old man, he thinks he's okay. He's not realizing that he's not. So it's up to the young people around him to say, yo, my man, have a seat. Thank you.
Cut. He said, I will, but the bottom line is he's still at it.
Here's Joe Biden calling John McCain his predecessor.
Not long ago, my buddy John McCain passed away. My predecessor friend that's how he ended his career.
All this and much more from the video we played a couple days ago in the span of a few days. Does one State of the Union address filled with gaffes undo everything we know about Joe Biden? Absolutely not. And if you suggest that, just as Stephen A. put it, you smoking crack. Well, it seems as though the Hunter Parmesan has certainly grown quite popular amongst Democrat ranks in Washington. I think Stephen A.'s description might be accurate here, especially for this guy, Raphael Warnock, who claims that the guy that I just showed you, the old man who can't speak English, well, Raphael is making the argument that that guy is so incredibly great that he should be compared to historically great characters.
And as I sat the other night and listened to the president's speech, I'll tell you, I said to my colleagues, I don't know if that was Joe Biden or Joe Lewis, because the man came out fighting and he never let up, and he's not going to let up between now and November.
I don't know if that was Joe Biden or Joe Lewis. You got to be on something for that to be your take, to be pushing that level of copium. All I'm seeing post State of the Union is Democrat copium of the highest degree, Parmesan.
Yeah, other people are campaigning for him since he can't do it.
Must be involved. And actually, speaking of copium, and might as well debunk this ridiculous leftist talking point, I keep seeing leftoids on Twitter repost this Newsweek article. Joe Biden suddenly leads Donald Trump in multiple polls. People are linking this, claiming that after Joe Biden's stunning, incredible, brave, historic State of the Union address, that all of a sudden now Joe Biden's spiking in the polls, leading Donald Trump. Let's just debunk that real quick. There actually haven't been any major polls released post State of the Union address, so we don't know the effect. Joe Biden was up nationally in the latest Emerson and Morning Consult poll, actually as well as the TIPP poll. All of these were conducted in early March before his State of the Union address. The rhetoric that you're seeing suggesting that Joe Biden is experiencing a big polling bump is complete fake news. Even though he's up 1 or 2 points in a couple polls, he's still down in the average, and he would need to be ahead by probably 4 or 5% to win in the Electoral College. Joe Biden's behind in every major battleground state in all of these polls. So that's pretty much it. Just a little reality check here for leftoids. Joe Biden isn't surging, and it doesn't seem like this whole State of the Union address narrative is having much of an impact at all. All right, that's what I got for you guys.
Okay. We're living in some crazy times, and we got to be verbal on life, all right? Comment below, what do you think about this whole scenario? Let's put our voices out there. The more we talk, the more people wake up to the reality of things. That you're not the only one who thinks this. It's more than one person. My name is Noel, battling MS. here trying to be verbal on life and trying to talk and continue to spread the word, let people know what's going on. And with that said, see you guys in the next stream. I was gonna share a story with you guys, but I'll leave it for the next live. All right, see you guys in the next video. Peace. Verbal.